welcome to the Library of Congress.
Thank you.
You will be performing a solo concert tonight. And when you play solo, do you approach it as blank slate, or do you have an idea of the pieces you will play?
I never had any idea of what I was going to play. Sometimes I have a little list like this in my pocket, and I look at it and say, "This, why not? Okay, I play it." But it's just a sort of point of start. Then I mostly improvise, 99%.
Will you be playing any new works tonight?
Est-ce que tu vas jouer des choses nouvelles à toi?
Well, of course, I composed a lot of tunes, but I rather keep it for when I play with my trio or with the big band to make it more understandable by the audience. But a piano solo, I consider it's very hard to catch, to listen. So I mostly use things that people must know, like T42 or very, very old. The oldest for me is the best because I'm always trying to make it new. It's a challenge to make new music with old pieces. But I may play some of my tune tonight if I feel a sort of interest in the audience.
You mentioned that you've written many compositions.
Oh yes, a lot.
Not just jazz, but classical, film scores, etc.
Yeah, I write a lot of music.
So when you are composing, how do you know when you are finished?
The composition, when it's finished. Well, there are many ways to know when it's finished. Sometimes it's a command, write a concerto of 25 minutes. So when it's 25 minutes, we finish. But of course, some bars before we make an ending, correct ending. It's not only the time. But by the way, there is no rule for this. No rule. I wrote many method for pianist. I wrote for film music. It's very easy because comment on dit le director said, please write 25 seconds and a half here, 12 seconds here, 1 minute 35. That's score. For score music, it's easy, but I mean the time, the length. But when you write composition, you can write just a song of 32 bars or a long pieces. There is no rule.
Do you find yourself going back and revising or tinkering, or when you are done, you are finished?
J'écoute.
Est-ce que tu corriges beaucoup?
Oh, yes.
Tu reviens dessus?
Especially since I'm using a computer about more than 20 years ago. I write my music on computer, so of course one day after, a week after, I come back and listen and change something which has to be changed. That's a great help. But before the computer, I was writing by hand, and when it's finished, bad or good. It's so convenient to use computer. Every musician of today, they use computer.
And which program do you use?
Oh, my program is Final. It's called Final. That's the most complete. Comment on dit?
Complete.
Oui, non, mais le logiciel.
Ah, I don't know.
Anyway, it's the best. To me, it's the best one. It's very, very difficult to hand.
Mm-hmm. I know you write and you play in many different styles, but can you say why you play jazz? What is it about jazz that draws you in?
Qu'est-ce qui te plaît dans le jazz?
Well, as soon as I heard jazz when I was like this, the most important thing to me was the liberty to change. The musicians I listened to at this time were playing some very famous song. I forgot which one, but it was changing a note here, a note there. If I felt he was free to do what he wanted from the original writing.
And when you were this tall, and you hear
Just a little bit more, like this.
maybe this tall,
okay, like this.
and you're hearing jazz for the first time.
Yeah.
Was it swing music? Was it bebop? What style was
No,
it?
bebop was not born yet.
Yes.
No, it was what we could call middle jazz, the style of Teddy Wilson, Benny Goodman, most saxophone, Ben Webster, Coleman Hawkins, all these years of music before bebop, of course.
While we're talking about early years, you were born in Algiers,
Yes.
Algeria. Your mother was an opera singer?
My mother, well?
An opera singer.
Oh, my mother, yeah, not professional, but she sang.
Sang. Did she teach you?
Opera. And I was playing with her.
Uh-huh.
I mean, at home.
Okay.
But she was singing all day long.
How did you learn to improvise?
Did I learn what?
Improviser. Comme...
Well, just by listening. At the time I started, there was no music, there was no rules, there was no record, there was nothing. My teacher had 2 or 3 records, and he made me listen to it. And he showed me how to improvise. It was very simple. This man was playing mostly clarinet and saxophone, and he showed me how to accompany him. So I had the right to play like this, only stride with 2 hands. And he was playing notes, and I get to understand the way it worked. And then I said, go home, I play it myself.
Can you teach someone how to swing?
Est-ce que toi, tu peux apprendre à quelqu'un à swinger?
Well, of course. Even swing is a technique. Everything is a technique. There is a way to make people unable to swing to make it swing, but it's more difficult than someone who has naturally the sense of timing. But it's the position of notes in a phrase, the accent, everything makes music swing or not. But it's very rare to hear that it's a technique. I may be the only one who says this. I consider it's a technique.
There are many classical musicians who cannot swing or don't know how to swing.
I have a lot of friends playing only classical concerts. Some swing and some don't. But they never had me as a teacher, so they don't know if we could swing one day. Once I had only classical concert piano, and they didn't know how to to play the first note without their music. So I told them, play a scale, play an arpeggio, play anything with a metronome, in time. Play anything in time. This is the beginning. By the way, the big method I wrote starts that way. I make the left hand playing only chords on each beat, and here, play anything you want. If it's wrong notes, I don't care, but play in time. That's the way to start.
What led you to start writing film scores?
What made me?
Comment es-tu arrivé à écrire des scores de cinéma?
Well, by chance, I could say.
For
example, the collaboration with Jean-Luc Godard.
Yeah, of course. That's the question I answer for 50 years now. So
but
I know.
How did that happen?
Well, by chance, because he had no idea of which musician he wanted. But he has a good friend called Jean-Pierre Melville, who is a French director of great talent. And Jean-Pierre Melville, by chance, were coming often in the jazz club where I was playing at the time at Saint-Germain-des-Prés. And we met, and he knew my work. So Godard and him, being French, they spoke together, and Jean-Pierre Melville told Godard, "Why try Martial?" And he said, "Why not?" And this was a great luck of my life, because this film, after 60 years almost, is still playing everywhere.
It's a classic,
Yeah.
as are you. Well,
I like anything who dure, comment on dit qui dure?
That lasts.
Quoi?
Anything that lasts.
yes,
Well, you understand.
I do, indeed. When you are composing for film, do you write for action to coincide with action or with mood?
Quand
Est-ce que tu
j'écris,
écris ce qui correspond à l'action ou ce qui correspond à l'atmosphère?
well, it's both. The atmosphere, of course, give me a direction, and then the action. There's different action in the movie. It's not always the same atmosphere, of course. Now, the general atmosphere of the film give me the idea of what the music should be. That's exactly when I worked this film for Godard. It was obvious that there were two different atmospheres. One very sad, one tragic, or like a police story, and one other more sentimental. So I wrote two different songs, very, very separate.
And what is the challenge for you in writing for film?
What is the what?
Le challenge.
The challenge to please the director, to be in time with the watch, 20 seconds to 30 seconds, and to be happy myself. Well, there is no rule for that. Anyway, most directors don't really know which kind of music they want. So sometimes they show you a record. Please do something in this atmosphere, but in general, I don't listen to what they ask, because I prefer to keep my personal idea, even if they don't like it and never call me back after. But
Are you a disciplined composer?
discipline, well, I guess so. I'm disciplined in my work in general. I practice piano many hours a day. I write when I have something to write. I do it seriously. I'm very serious about music.
Is there an aspect of technique that you are still working on?
I don't think so, no. You will hear tonight. You tell me after.